Suspected was the funniest person on earth, and having had the honor of working with him recently, I have confirmed that to be the case. The funniest man in the world from SNL and Portlandia, Mr. Fred Armisen.
Neil Casey is working currently as a writer on Saturday Night Live, so he's doing great. Okay, so let's hear a couple words.
Titanic! Leprechauns!
Farming!
Hipsters!
Austin, Texas!
Pedophilia!
Redhead!
75-year-old hooker! What's up with that?
These are all good, these are all good. I'm just enjoying these. I'm just enjoying these.
Michael Bolton.
What?
Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton?
That's right.
Here, I'll do this. Okay? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give you a choice of some stories that I was just thinking about. When I hear Titanic, because I'm here at South by Southwest, you know, I was here in 1998 and I came with my band. Or I was in a band at the time, and it's been bringing up a lot of stories about the time that I spent going on tour all the time. And it was a very happy time because I had a really good time with my bandmates, but we really didn't make it at all. You know, we had a few crowds here and there, but we had a great time, but it was very, very difficult at the time. This is in the 90s, and we toured in this country, and I played a lot of drums, but it was very difficult. And then we actually made it over to Europe. We went and played some shows in Italy and in Holland and Germany, and I was thinking about all those times. So there's that. I could either tell you a story about playing in Germany, in Berlin at a squat, or I could tell you about writing to John Waters and then him writing back to me. Or I could tell you I don't want to do this next story because I've told it so many times, but about meeting Prince. John Waters?
John Waters.
John Waters, okay. Alright, so one time, right, I was like 14 years old, and I was in English class, right? And we had this assignment. And the assignment was, this is 8th grade, right? Is it 14? That's about 8th grade. The assignment was, what would you do if it's your last day on Earth? If you had one day left to live? And as I was overhearing everybody, all the other students, they were all like, oh, I'd go visit my grandma, and I'd go hang out with my family. And I thought, that's so lame. It's so like, immediately I thought, no, the first thing I would do is I would just destroy everything, and I'd go down the street and I'd light everything on fire and I'd smash windows. And I thought I was kind of being funny, and I kind of thought I was, you know, I just kind of thought like, that's what I would do, and there was something kind of light about it. So I wrote this whole thing about how I would destroy everything. And as a grade the next day, I got a question mark from my teacher, Miss Cipher, and it said, "See me." So I went to this office, and she had this discussion with this other teacher about how crazy I was. She's like, but that's not right that he's saying all these things. And he was trying to defend me a little bit, and then I ended up the next day having to go to the school psychologist alone. While all my friends are all going to classes and stuff, I had to go to this psychologist. And my mom was really worried, and it was really scary because I had to take all these tests, these written tests. They were like, do you ever feel a tight band wrapped around your head? No. Do you like people who are tall? I don't know. Do you ever hear, do you ever see animals that other people don't seem to see? Do you ever hear voices? It was awful. It was awful. It was very scary as a kid because I was alone, you know, and I was really upset by it because I thought, this is English class. I just want to be able to be a little crazy. And then I heard this radio interview with John Waters. I just happened to turn on the radio, and he was talking. It's this guy I had never heard about, And he was talking about how he likes to make movies that shock people, that scare people, and that like he's this crazy person, but he gets to be this movie director. And he talked about a book called Shock Value. That's a book he wrote. I went right out to the mall and I got it. I never read anything. And it was this book that in Shock Value, he opens the book by saying, if someone throws up at one of my movies, I consider it a standing ovation. And right away, I was like, this guy is speaking my language. I was like, he talks about traveling the world and being this famous director for having crazy ideas. And immediately I thought, oh, that's my guy. There is a way out. There's a way you could be kind of, not that I consider myself crazy, but like, that you could take that and turn it into something. So, I'll just go through the whole story in detail, okay? I hope you don't mind. In the book, this is way pre-internet, he references visiting someone's apartment named Cookie Mueller, an actress. He's like, whenever I go to New York, I visit Cookie Mueller. I thought, aha, I live in New York. I looked in the white pages, I found her address. I called her up and I said, hi, I want to find out how I can get hold of John Waters. And she gave me his address. I wrote to him and I was like, I'm your #1 fan. I want to take over your pukedom. He's a prince of puke. And I get sent to the school psychologist for all my ideas and you get to go around the world. He wrote back to me. He wrote back to me and he said, hey, don't worry about it. Whatever you do what you want to do, but don't just be shocking for just to be shocking. Try to have a point. So already he was like sort of mentoring me and making me feel, special. And he kept on writing to me. We wrote to each other, and he'd give me advice like read Variety magazine, like just because he was all about like don't do things just to be underground. Like it's okay to be in the entertainment business and to embrace it. And he'd send me Christmas cards, we wrote to each other, and we've become friends today. But he's this guy who, in a way, saved my life. He saved my life because I really was scared and worried, and then he just turned it around. So like, no, you could just be whatever you want to be, and it all works out. And then it's worked out to this day. And that's my story. Thank you. I hope you don't mind that I sat down. I just felt like sitting down. It helped me focus on it. But for the rest of it, this time, I would like to do any accent. I'm a master of accents. I could do any accent exactly right. I'm a professional at it. I could do regions, I'm not kidding. I could do regions, cities, states, countries, cities in different countries. Is there another mic here?
Hugo Chavez.
Well, Hugo Chavez? You mean
Yes.
Venezuela? To do a Venezuelan accent, you have to, it's a little bit like, it sounds a little bit mid-level and not so fast. Porque nosotros estamos haciendo de Venezuela. Well, Venezuela's over here, but Mexico's a little slower. Mexico's like more of a sing-song, it's a little slower. Venezuela's up here, it's a little bit faster. Puerto Rico es a little bit spice to it. Puerto Rico, nosotros estamos, no lo conocen así. No lo conocen. What part of Texas?
East Texas.
What?
East Texas.
Slow and stupid.
East Texas is kind of, well, there's this kind of seriousness to it. Where West has got a kind of thoughtfulness. East Texas got kind of, it's up here a little bit. Alright.
Yonkers.
What's that? New Jersey? New Jersey almost sounds like New York, but it's not quite New York, it's almost. So some people will mistake you for being from New York, but you're not, you're from New Jersey. Jersey. What? Holland?
Boston.
The Netherlands? They think that they've got a little bit of an attitude to right? Listen, the thing, it's a very hard accent, meaning hard hitting. To play football. To play football. It punches you. Yeah. What? Plains, Georgia. Plains, Jimmy Carter. Plains, Georgia. Well, Georgia, I think, to me, Georgia has a kind of, there's a kind of pride to it. Properness of Georgia. Yeah. New Zealand? New Zealand's a little like it's a question all the time? No? No? So Australia's like a bit like fact. You better believe it. You better believe it. You see, California? California. The key to doing California is you've got to pronounce every vowel and every consonant.
Bill Cosby.
Baltimore!
Somalia. Why? That's all I know. That's all I know. Somalia. Why? Oh. Oh no. Somalia. Why? Poland. Zimny piwo. Poland. Jaka mam perkusji. Jaka Poland. What? French, très bien, je t'aime. I like to commute très bien, south by southwest. Is it south? What? Canadian, what part of Canada? Oh, Winnipeg, eh? Winnipeg is the most classic Canadian accent is Winnipeg. That you hear? Eh? But Toronto is a little more educated. Toronto sounds educated. I'll do one more.
Wisconsin.
Russia. Spasiba, Russia. Why? I'm just gonna do Y for everything. What?
Irish.
Baltimore!
Did you say Germany?
Irish.
Jamaica? Jamaica! But that sounds like a caricature, right?